WNBA, they are ready for the very next step in the Destroy Caitlin Clark operation. What could that possibly be? What am I talking about? Great question. Glad you asked. Glad you are here. Hope you all having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19, which is all of you. Hope you have some plans for this hopefully amazing weekend. Fingers crossed on the weather around here. It has been so hot, so much humidity. We've got like chance of thunderstorms all the time because it's been 100 plus up in the Northeast, which is crazy. But anyway, y'all might remember this. By the way, quick favor, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. And I just remembered a couple of other things that I haven't said in a long time. There's a notification bell. And hey, you know what? If you're checking this out on mobile, there is a hype button as well. I truly would appreciate it. Okay, I'm finished. I promise. Let's get into this. Y'all might remember in 2024, they kept wanting Caitlin Clark to speak out, even though it wasn't her fans. Dejanay Carrington made a big deal about a racist comment toward her, right? And I think someone actually got a screenshot that she put out, and it was like the account was like AJXK194052 with 3 followers, that type of stuff. And Caitlin was asked finally. She was asked, uh, I think it was one of those after practice ones about racism. And of course, she made the comment she should make that she doesn't condone all that and so forth. So, she has spoken out a couple of times because they've asked her ridiculous questions when we all know Caitlin Clark does not owe anyone a statement about what other random people whom she doesn't know are saying about anything. But we know why they want her to do it, because they want her to make a very clear statement that many of her own fans take as her throwing them under the bus. They want to cause that split between Caitlin Clark and her fans, because Caitlin Clark without her fans doesn't have the same power that Caitlin Clark does with all of her fans, right? And that's the difference. And if they can get rid of her fans, they're fine. Now, they may still want to get rid of Caitlin Clark, but they're a lot happier than they are right now. So it's been this desperate attempt constantly to get Caitlin Clark to throw her fans under the bus. We hear it every now and again about these things she needs to speak out on. And so now that she's gotten physically assaulted on the court, lying helpless on the ground by Alyssa Thomas, and in using the media, the WNBA media, which has always been anti Caitlin Clark, they are ramping that back up again. They've successfully turned Alyssa Thomas, the assaulter, into the victim of Caitlin Clark and her nasty, nasty fans. So now we're getting to that next step where it's, Caitlin needs to speak out about these things. Caitlin needs to condemn these things because somehow Caitlin is the perpetrator and not the victim in these situations, which is absolutely insane. So I want to play this quick clip because it's a lesson in how you do these things as well. It's kind of funny, but we're going to rip it apart. We're going to talk about it, and I've got another thing that I think that's going to open your eyes just a little bit to say, hey, you know what, WNBA, this may not be working out so well for you because we have some numbers to share. Anyway, this is that lady. I forget the name of the podcast. I had her on one time before. She kind of terrifies me a little bit, but this is from Just Women's Sports. It's what's Court Vision podcast, I think it's called, something like that. And of course, she's talking about Caitlin Clark speaking out. Now, again, keep in mind, speaking out on trolls, right? We're talking about trolls. We're talking about bots. We're not talking about actual real Caitlin Clark fans, but they conveniently skip that part because they want to use it to destroy Caitlin Clark and her fans.
Do I think Caitlyn should say something? I don't think that she has the responsibility to. I think it's still a lot. It's unfair to put that on a player, but I have a lot less grace for it than I did in 2024, where I was like, hey, she just got here. There's so many people using her to, further agendas. She's a kid, blah, blah, blah. This is now 3 years into her career. And if she's silent, it's her decision to do so. And it will be read as such. I don't
Who the hell are you? Like, who the hell are you to sit there and say there will be less if Caitlyn doesn't speak this time? By the way, she did speak, and doesn't speak this time, there will be less grace. Who the hell are you to judge whether Caitlin Clark speaks on something that really has absolutely nothing to do with her? This is insane. The arrogance coming from this woman, the entitlement, the condescension coming from this woman is repulsive. It is absolutely repulsive.
I don't think she has to, but the choice to be silent is also an action.
Silence is complicity. We're going to roll that back now. We're going to bring back that stupid phrase. Is that what we're doing here, Roz?
And that will be judged. And for me, this is the opinion of Roz. I think it would be cool to hear from Kayla. I think she's a good person. I'm sure she's
Think it would be cool. Yeah, of course you do. You think it would be cool. By the way, who the hell are you to judge her for this? But here's why see what I mean about how she's saying these things. Oh, because I like Caitlyn. Caitlyn's real nice. Oh, it'd be so cool if she did this. Yeah, because you want her to sever her relationship with her fan base. That is what we're talking about. But you want to make it sound like, oh, it's not a big deal. We just want to hear Caitlyn speak out on this. Yeah, we just want a little statement from Caitlyn.
not at all, hoping these types of things happen to her fellow colleagues of the WNBA. I think it'd be cool if like she was like, "Yo, don't do this."
I think it'd be cool if she threw her fans under the bus and confirmed for the league that they were a bunch of racist a-holes. By the way, what is happening? Out of curiosity, what exactly is it that we're talking about? Because here's my question, Roz, because I don't want to judge your silence on the matter, but can you bring the receipts where or you know what? Let's make it even more relatable to Caitlin Clark. How about any of these players? Have they ever spoken out? Because I promise you, and I know a lot of people have a lot of receipts about it. I promise you that Caitlin Clark has gotten far more hate, far more vitriol, far more threats. By the way, she has an actual stalker in jail. She's gotten far more of these things than all the other players in the WNBA combined, and she's gotten legitimate ones. Again, stalker in jail. So, can you point me in the right direction where I can see any of these players who have spoken out against their fans for the harassment they've directed at Caitlin Clark? Because if you cannot do that, then you need to shut the fuck up. You need to sit down. You need to be silent because you don't matter. You're irrelevant. The only reason you're even heard, the only reason Court Vision even exists, the only reason I'm even acknowledging your existence is all because of Caitlin Clark. And that's the trick, isn't it? That's what really pisses you off. That's what gets you so upset. You are irrelevant and have always been irrelevant. And that is for the entire WNBA, the entire WNBA ecosystem, the entire WNBA media. You were irrelevant for 3 decades. And then Caitlin Clark came around. And that is what really, really pisses you off. Now, this is from X. This is a conversation from someone that actually follows me. There was stuff going back and forth, and someone said, "You actually talking about Caitlyn to someone?" By the way, the person making the comments about Caitlyn, it's a verified account. Okay, so we're talking about a real person. Like you actually want her to be unalived over basketball. It's a simple question. Would you like to see her unalived? Yes or no? Don't care one way or the other. Now, they backed up a little bit from their previous comment, which I don't have here, because they basically said, yeah, that they do. And as you can say there, they don't really care either way. Think about that. Don't really care either way if Caitlin Clark is unalive simply because of basketball. And then, of course, we just have some more, more what we call, I guess, normal nasty stuff. I hope she tears her ACL, MCL, and Achilles tendon next game. We got a lot of that type of stuff. You think the league, I think I might have read this one before. Apologize if I did in a recent video. You think the league violating her now? I'm about to Bounty Gate 2.0 and put 1,500 on legs and 2,000 on upper body. Biatch built like a pretzel stick, so it won't take much for her to bleed. And I hope that car of yours got some armor on it. 7.62 rips through limbs like it's paper towels. So I'm just saying, right? Just saying. Caitlin Clark out for 2 weeks. Wish it could have been an ACL tear, but oh well. And then another person responded to the breaking news of her being out. Day just got better. Amen. So there's a lot of stuff from Caitlin Clark. They all celebrate when she gets injured and all of these things. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the apologies from all the WNBA players. I'm waiting for them to condemn their fans. And of course, they say the same thing to the fans as well, right? Like, um, you will be unalived in a car crash, maggot, but it doesn't say maggot. Caitlin Clark say, biatch, that's why your grandma unalived. Biatch, F your younger siblings. Your mama's on her way out like her dead mother. Laugh my it's just is a lot of nasty stuff. So I think y'all need to shut up, Roz, until we hear from all of these players throwing all of their own fans under the bus. I want to hear them loud. I want to hear them proud. If they cannot, and I want to hear it from all of them. I want to hear it from all of them. And if we can't, then shut up. I don't want to hear anything about Caitlin needs to do this and Caitlin needs to do that. But I promise you, that is what this is that Roz is getting going here, because that's the next step. I've been talking about this with a few people, and we're like, how's this gonna go? Because we figure the next step, what they're trying to do is get Caitlin Clark to come out and make a statement that is actually, in a way, against Caitlin Clark. I don't think they expect her to come out and say, hey, the whole incident was my fault, but they expect her to come out and basically confirm that now Alyssa Thomas is the actual victim because of what Caitlin Clark's fans are doing. And they want Caitlin Clark to scold those fans. They want Caitlin Clark to condemn those fans. They want Caitlin Clark to basically say, you're not fans of mine, right? The thing we've seen with Hollywood since they went insane with all their woke stuff, and actual fans complain, whether it's Star Wars or, the superhero movies or whatever it is. And then you get people like Ewan McGregor. Well, if you do this, I don't think you're a real Star Wars fan. That's what they want Caitlin Clark to do. If you criticize these players, you're not really a fan of mine. That's what they want. Now, on a related note, I want to finish up with, because it's interesting, because they might not like where this goes. They might not like where this goes. So that game last week, you had Fever Spark Saturday, CBS, no Caitlin Clark. It drew 1.56, 1.57 million viewers on CBS. Sounds like a great number, right? And, for what the WNBA has done, it is. But as you know, we've had a lot of Caitlin Clark fans like, yeah, you know what? I will support Caitlin Clark, but I'm at that point where I'm not going to support anything in the league, and I'm not even going to support the Indiana Fever, just Caitlin Clark. So if she's not playing, I'm not watching. And a lot of people go, oh, hey, 1.56, 1.57 million. Obviously, that didn't work. A lot of people watching. The boycott didn't work. Yeah, you know what? It actually did. And why do I say that? Because the previous CBS game for Caitlin Clark, 2.557 million. So it dropped by a million. That was back on June 6th. Wasn't all that long ago. It's the most comparable game because it was CBS. Okay. So you went from the previous Fever game on CBS a couple weeks prior, 3 weeks prior, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks prior, maybe. 2.557 to 1.56, dropped 40%. from Saturday CBS game to Saturday CBS game. And if you're wondering, the other game that the Fever played on CBS earlier in the year, I think did about the same. I think it was, yeah, opening weekend was Wings Fever, which did 2.5. So you have three CBS games for the Indiana Fever, 2.5 million, 2.6 million, 1.5 million without Caitlin Clark because people are fed up with what has been going on. WNBA, you don't want the numbers going in that direction, my friends. Anyway, I am really curious to see if when Caitlin Clark makes a statement, what it is going to be, how far she's going to go, and what the reaction is going to be from her very own fans. Fingers crossed. I know she's in a tough spot. Fingers crossed that if she comes out and says anything, that she gets it right because I think a lot of her fans, it's not even that they'll be angry because we all get why she would do it, but I think they'll be like, "Yeah, you know what? That's enough for me. I like it's just it's exhausting. I can't take it anymore. It's not worth it." Even when she plays, we very rarely get to see her play the way she plays that got us to be a fan in the first place. So I got my fingers crossed, man. It is a tough situation. Hopefully she handles it correctly. I mean, if she kind of makes it milk toast like that, her first one about, hey, these I control if she like make sure you get the word troll in there. Make sure you get the word bot in there, right? Kind of distance it from real people. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Truly do appreciate it. I will talk to you later.